Transforming individual golfers into a cohesive Ryder Cup team is no small feat, and Paul Azinger found a groundbreaking solution that turned the tide for the U.S. team. The backdrop of this story reveals that when Azinger stepped into the role of captain for the 2008 Ryder Cup, he faced a daunting atmosphere. The American squad had suffered 3 consecutive losses in this prestigious tournament, marking a historical low point for the team. Among his 12 players were 6 who were stepping onto this stage for the very first time. Despite the pressure, Azinger led his team to a remarkable victory over the European golfers at Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. His innovative approach captured attention and admiration as he initiated a unique system called pods, where he divided the players into smaller 4-person teams that would stick together throughout the event. This idea was so impactful that Azinger even documented it in his book titled Cracking the Code. The Ryder Cup excites me not just as a golf competition, but as a fascinating lens through which to explore leadership dynamics. Golf is inherently an individual sport that leaves little room for excuses. Bad shots are solely on the golfer, with no teammates to blame. Nonetheless, every 2 years, the world's most skilled individual golfers must seamlessly come together as a unified team. As we approach this year's Ryder Cup, which kicks off on Friday, I had the opportunity to speak with Azinger about the challenges of fostering teamwork among such talented individuals. Our conversation sheds light on the complexities of leadership and team dynamics in a traditionally solo sport, and it has been edited for clarity. Azinger pointed out the core dilemma in golf. It is both an individual and a team sport, which creates a unique challenge when trying to foster a sense of camaraderie. My goal was to find a way for 12 guys to bond quickly within just 3 or 4 days so they could perform at their peak, he explained. He quickly realized that achieving a strong bond among all 12 players at once would be nearly impossible. Thus, he developed the concept of 4-player pods, as it would be much simpler for smaller groups to connect. Inspired by Navy SEALs team-building techniques, Azinger noted how breaking larger groups into smaller units can enhance performance. To refine this approach, he collaborated with Dr. Ron Brown, who helped identify different personality types among the golfers. They categorized players into dominant, steady, and influential personalities through careful observation, without any necessary assessments. Once they identified these traits, the team was organized according to their personality compatibility. Groups of similar green-light personalities were paired together, avoiding combining conflicting types. This methodical planning was a key element of Azinger's strategy and contributed to the team's success. It's intriguing that Azinger came across the Navy SEALs model of teamwork quite serendipitously while watching a documentary. I was fascinated by their ability to transform larger groups into smaller, effective teams, he recalled. This sparked an instant connection to the Ryder Cup challenge. Reflecting on his past conversations with fellow golfer Payne Stewart, Azinger noted how the differing approaches of Ryder Cup captains often hindered continuity and cohesiveness. In contrast, the European team had a defined formula and cohesion that the American side lacked. By choosing to empower the players within his 4-man pods, Azinger allowed them to take ownership of their group dynamics. I place the responsibility on them, as they are seasoned professionals, he shared. He steadfastly believes that a captain's primary role is to create an environment that maximizes each player's potential. The success of the pod system lay in how players coordinated their strategies for games and supported one another. For instance, they decided amongst themselves who would play alternate shot or best ball in their respective groups, a level of autonomy that was essential for building chemistry and trust. Azinger recounted an experience where he made a timely decision to empower his players. When I had to finalize selections for the pods, I ensured they understood they could choose their 4th player from a list of prospects I provided, he explained. This not only allowed them to feel invested, but also strengthened their bond. In one pod, for example, the trio comprised of Justin Leonard, Anthony Kim, and Phil Mickelson selected Hunter Mahan as their additional member, a decision that fostered strong camaraderie. He clarified that the essence of the pod system was not just about selecting players based on their skill levels, but rather their personalities. Although Azinger acknowledged that every golfer in the squad possessed exceptional talent, he realized that their personalities would ultimately shape their interactions and synergy on the course. While collaborating with Brond, who was initially unfamiliar with golf, Azinger articulated the necessity of matching player personalities rather than focusing solely on skills. This innovative perspective led to the decision to cluster golfers by similar personality traits. It was a moment of realization that transformed our approach to team selection, he noted. This was a remarkable shift because typically, teams focus on aligning skill sets rather than the psychological dynamics that govern team interaction. Recalling how he managed individual personalities on the team, he remarked on the significance of emotional intelligence, or EQ. Azinger emphasized how essential it was to communicate transparently and sincerely with players while supporting them through challenges. He recalled a dinner with J.B. Holmes before the Ryder Cup, where Holmes expressed a desire for a competitive spark to fuel his performance. When Holmes encountered tension with Lee Westwood during a match, Azinger's intervention was critical, as he calmly informed him of Westwood's demeanor, thereby enabling Holmes to channel his emotions productively. Azinger's approach, which may sound counterintuitive, highlights how creating individual bonds within smaller groups can lead to a unified team atmosphere that ultimately translates into success. As he noted, the challenge was fostering connections at the individual level, while still cultivating a strong team spirit, leading to an environment where everyone flourished together. Looking back on this transformative experience, Azinger learned valuable lessons about leadership. He discovered that employing sound principles allows individuals with little leadership experience, like himself, to guide a talented team effectively. His ability to connect with peers and communicate candidly fostered respect and admiration. In reflecting on his role, he stated, "I had no prior experience in leadership roles, but that was overshadowed by my fundamental people skills." He underscored that while talent was abundant, the key to their triumph lay in creating an environment that offered players a clear direction and allowed them the freedom to thrive independently. The event was a testament to the power of intentional leadership and the effectiveness of solid foundational principles. So as we gear up for another exciting Ryder Cup, let's consider this. How can we better foster teamwork among highly skilled individuals in our own lives or workplaces? Is there a balance between individual prowess and collective unity? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Illustration, Dan Goldfarb, The Athletic. Andy Lyons, Getty Images.